Hi guys, I hope you are all really well. This is a video I've talked about before, but is really long overdue. Again, it's just one of those things which just keeps coming around. Before I get going, can I remind you to click and subscribe? Please click like, and if you find the video useful, please remember that I have a Kofi account which is available in the information underneath, and you can contribute. All gratefully accepted. So this video is talking about the different ways that we use the word which. Okay, which. And this is just one of those things which just keeps going wrong with students. And yeah, let's just get down to it. So the first use of which is which when you are asking a question, when you then have a noun after it. So let's be really clear. This is when you say which plus a thing. So which mug, which, what have we got here? Which plug, which, what random objects have we got near me? Which hand, okay? I'm going to slap somebody. Which hand, which hand? Which t-shirt are you wearing today, Luke? Which t-shirt, okay? So which followed by a noun, a thing. This will often become what plus the noun plus the thing. And very quick explanation in English, and a lot of people don't even think this, but when you say which versus what, so I'm going to paint the bedroom, what colour? I'm going to paint the bedroom, oh, which colour? The subtle difference is which is normally a choice between a predetermined selection, so there are a sample of colours in the range, faro and ball all the way, or Valspar is not bad. So which colour from the range, which colour are you going to paint it? Or I'm going to paint the room, what colour is a little bit more open. You'll often hear a little bit more what than which in America compared to the UK, but yeah. Generally, so which plus a noun, the word is going to be pronounced identically for everybody and is quel. Q-U-E-L masculine, Q-U-E-L-L-E feminine, Q-U-E-L-S masculine plural, and Q-U-E-L-L-E-S feminine plural. So which man, quel homme, which boy, quel garçon, which girl, quelle fille. So we don't need to be thinking about that. If we had a quels enfants, which children, it would obviously link to the vowel. So that is which, when you then have which plus a noun. Okay, situation number one in this video. Quel enfant, quelle fille. What day do you want to come over, Luke? Quel jour, okay? At what time? À quelle heure? How old are you? Quel âge? Because âge is a thing, it's a noun, okay? Situation number two. If you are still referring to a noun, and everybody involved knows which noun you are referring to, that's the joy with pronouns, most people know what's going on, but you don't actually say the mug. So I'm going to use the bright, I'm going to make a cup of tea. Which mug do you want? Fine, if I say which mug, you know, quelle tasse, whatever, I'm going to, could you use my normal mug? This isn't my normal mug. My normal mug is badass. It's green, it's beautiful. I use it for green tea. This is just a bigger one because I needed some coffee. So this is the amount of coffee that I need. So if I said, could you use my normal mug? And somebody said, oh yeah, which one? Yeah, so it is, I'm going to wear the t-shirt that you like. Oh yes, which one? I'm going to the bar that we went to last time. Sorry, which one? So you are saying which one, where you could have substituted it for which bar, which mug, which t-shirt. So you are saying which one, but you are referring to a noun. You are referring to another thing. And that is lequel, L-E-Q-U-E-L, laquelle, L-A-Q-U-E-L-L-E, lesquels, L-E-S-Q-U-E-L-S, and lesquels, L-E-S-Q-U-E-L-L-E-S. So you've got a masculine word for the plus the masculine quel, joined. Feminine word for the plus the feminine which word, quelle. Plural, masculine plural, plural word for the, feminine plural. All will be written underneath. So when you say this, which one, you are referring to a specific noun. If I walked into somebody's bedroom and I went, which one? They'd be like, oh, sorry, Luke, I don't know what you're on about. If I walked in and I visually, hang on, it's a long time since I taught in the city, but I still have them. Wait there 1 second. So, here we go. So if I said, Daddy's missed you, Daddy's missed you. So if I said, I'm going to wear a tie, I'm going to wear a tie for you know. So if I walked into the bedroom and I said, which one? Yeah, which one? Which one? You know, oh, he wants me to pick a tie. Which one? Okay. I might go out tonight in a tie just for the pleasure of it. Lovely. And you can let me know which one you choose. That's the first of two of these tie hangers. So which one? So which one is when you have a noun in mind. Okay? Don't forget with which one that you can use it with a person. So if I said, oh, that lovely girl's coming. Which girl? Quelle fille? Which one? Laquelle. We can use that about people. Okay? So that is the first use of lequel, laquelle, lesquels, which is what confuses you. Okay? Let's keep going. The second use of lequel, laquelle, lesquels, lesquels, and indeed in a usage which will involve the word use, will involve the word which in English, is if you say with which, from which, to which, about which. So you are using a preposition and then the word which. Let's talk. We don't always form the sentence in that way anymore because we don't all speak in that register, in that manner. So for example, we'd say, oh, the guy I used to live with. Yeah, the girl I used to work for, which is ending a sentence in a preposition. And a preposition is a little word which normally goes in a position prior to a preposition before a noun. For example, dog, cat, house. By the dog, in the dog. By the dog, in the dog, on the dog, under the dog. Sounds a bit suspicious. Near the dog, from the dog, in the house, by the house, around the house. There are multiple worded, there are compound prepositions at the back of the house, on top of the house. This is acceptable. The same in French. Au-dessus de. Yeah, en dessous de. We do have au-dessous de as well, but en dessous de tends to get used. So the fact is, these are words that you would normally place before a noun. So I spoke with the man. I spoke with the girl. I spoke to the gentleman. I spoke to my friend Gabby. I spoke about my friend Gabby. Fucking hell, she's shocking if I was to tell you everything. So the fact is, if you were to then word this sentence in a slightly more formal manner where you didn't end in the preposition, so the gentleman I used to work for, the gentleman for whom I used to work, the pen I signed the contract with, the pen with which I signed the contract, the table I put the bag on, the table on which I placed the bag. Now that sounds quite posh, for want of a better word, in English, but we have to do that in French. No matter where you're from, no matter what your background, that is what you will say. So you don't do that with people. If in French you're using any of those situations, to whom, from whom, whatever, unless it is dans, D-O-N-T, which is about whom, yeah, or of whom. Whole other video, don't worry about it right now. Okay, then you will use de, à, pour, sans, yada yada, all the prepositions and qui. So the man I used to live with, l'homme avec qui, with whom I used to live. The woman I used to work for, la femme pour qui je travaillais, the woman for whom I used to work. But if you were using an equivalent situation with a thing, a non-human, so the pen I signed the contract with, which would then become the pen with which, so you're going to grab the preposition that was previously at the end of the word and you're going to stick it after your first named thing. So the pen I signed the contract with, the pen I signed the contract with, the pen with which I signed the contract. The company I wrote to, the company to whom I wrote. Australians, Brits find that quite easy to do. Australians, a smidge less, but pretty much the same. Canadians a bit less, and then Americans don't often tend to do that very often. So, and that's just common speech in people's zone. So, but that is really worth practicing. So before you practice the French, practice doing that. The guy I used to work for, the guy for whom I used to work, the woman I used to speak to, the woman to whom I used to speak. The credit card I paid the bill with, the credit card with which I paid the bill. So, if you are now using the word which after one of these prepositions, with which, for which, from which, to which, and I accept that this is not the way you would always say it in English, you are still going to use lequel, laquelle, lesquels after the preposition. So it will be keep the preposition, like we did in English, plus the damn words for which. Okay, so with which, if it was referring to something, is now going to, hang on, I didn't say that cleanly in English. If it were referring to something, you would need to choose the gender. Because if you're saying with which, you are always referring to a thing. So with which I signed the contract, le stylo avec lequel, with which. If it were a fountain pen, une plume, yeah, avec laquelle. The company, feminine, you know, so let's say la société, for which I used to work, la société pour laquelle je travaillais, for which. You could say où je travaillais, where I used to work, but you know. So that is the next use of lequel, laquelle, lesquels. So let's remind you then, if you have the prepositions à and de, to and from, obviously de in other circumstances can mean of or about, but if we're using de there, it's going to be using from, because you cannot use de plus the lequel, laquelle, lesquels crap if you mean of or about. Because if you mean of which, about which, or of whom or about whom, you will use the word dont, D-O-N-T. So for example, the woman I'm speaking about, la femme dont je parle. The woman from whom I research. So from, with the from idea, you keep the de. With a from idea, you keep the de. Like I said, de can mean about, from, of. If you're using it to mean from, you will use the keep the de idea. So the woman I received a letter from, la femme de qui j'ai reçu une lettre. La femme de qui j'ai reçu une lettre. So if you said the company to which I wrote, the company I wrote to, I mean, fine, you'd say the company I contacted, la société que j'ai contactée, la société à laquelle. So you can join à plus le, becomes au in other French. Je vais au cinéma. À plus les becomes au aux, like au magasin. I'm going to the shops, plural. I speak to the ladies. Je parle aux femmes. À la will obviously stay the same. And if it were a word which began with a vowel, à le, like à l'hôtel. So be very careful. If you had to which, à lequel will form auquel, one word, will be written underneath, A-U-Q-U-E-L. À plus laquelle will be à laquelle, separate. À plus lesquels will become auquel. The same with de. De plus le, unless it's a pronoun, unless it means a him. I've just seen him, je viens de le voir. We would join de and le to mean du. So I've just seen him. Is the only, or I've just seen them, je viens de les voir. If your le means him in a replacement way, don't join. Any other time in French, de plus le, du, de la, des, whatever, you du, des, they're going to combine. I know elsewhere du and des mean some, but don't worry about that for now. So if I said the company from which I received a response, la société de laquelle, yeah? The department, masculine, from which I received a response, the department I received a response from, le département duquel, yeah? So in other words, avec lequel, with which, avec lequel, with which feminine thing, avec laquelle, with which plural thing, avec lesquels. Yeah? For which, pour lequel, pour laquelle, pour lesquels. Without which, sans lequel, sans laquelle, sans lesquels. It's only if you have which after a, so to which or from which, that if it's masculine or plural, you will need to join auquel, auquel, or duquel, desquels. Good. So we've had which when you have which and a noun. Which boy, quel garçon. Which tie, quelle cravate. We've had which one when you are referring to either a boy or a noun or whatever, either a person or a non-person, just which one, but everybody knows what's going on, which will be lequel, laquelle, or lesquels. We've then had which when you have which after, I'm getting bored of saying the word which. You then have which when you must be getting bored of hearing the word which, but I'm getting bored of hearing the mistakes. So you then have which where you are using which after a preposition if you were to rearrange your sentence. Yeah. So a sentence that would end the company I'm writing to, the company to which I'm writing, à laquelle, auquel, à laquelle, becoming auquel, etc. That kind of stuff. Let's now do position number. Let's now do another one. Let's do another one. Yeah. Which when you are continuing your sentence. So let's just briefly and cheekily just remind ourselves that we could use that don't word again. So this in English is where we often have a slip up and a debate between the use of which and the use of that, okay? And there are, restrictive, disposable clauses, non-restrictive, the basic argument between which and that is if we say disposable sandwich bag, like you can throw that away with your sandwiches. I know it's a stupid way of remembering it, but it's what we do. So for example, if you were sort of talking about sentences where the word that is absolutely imperative to, okay, so for an example that people say, my bike that has a broken tire is in the garage. Okay, my bike which has a broken tire is in the garage. The idea being that in the first one, my bike that has a broken tire, that's sort of suggesting I've got other bikes, but that there is essential to show you which one I mean. So my bike that has the broken tire, that one, whereas my bike which has a broken tire on the side, I don't have a bike with a broken tire. I've had 4 bikes and they were all stolen. I won't tell you who stole them because I'll be pulled off YouTube for being politically insensitive. But I can certainly tell you that it was the same group of people and they frequent Marble Arch. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, 4 bikes, 4 King D-locks, 4 big D-lock things. To quote the local police officer, there isn't a lock that certain people can't get through. Yeah, so in other words, there are times when people want to say that, which they're not sure, the company that I told you about, the company which and people aren't sure. For the purposes of this video, I don't care, and you shouldn't either for right now. So, and we often reduce that to that anyway. Oh, the girl I told you about, or the girl that I told you about. We wouldn't even say that properly. We might just say the girl I told you about, or the company that wrote to me, rather than the company which wrote to me. So that and which have their own level of being correct or incorrect in English, and we're not going into it now. Let's just assume, for whatever reason, your mouth is coming up with the word which for that purpose. Okay. So that would be all kinds of things. So if we said the woman I told you about, the company which I told you about, the company which I told you about, okay, in that situation then, it's I told you about, je t'ai parlé de, because notice in French we can't tell about, we have to talk about. So the company about which I told you, what did I say to you earlier? If you have an about which, or a from which, or an about whom, or an of whom, as opposed to No, Luke, shut up. If you have an of which, an of whom, an about which, and about whom, you use the word dans. Okay? So the company which I told you about, la société dont je t'ai parlé. So that would be a first which there. Okay, dans. If it's then followed by a verb which would use de, would be dans. The dog, the table that's by the door, the table which is by the door, both correct in their different placements. The table, which is by the door, is beautiful, disposable, as opposed to the table. I want you to take the table that is by the door. Forget that. But if you mouth it, any given point would go to say, oh, the table which is by the door. This is where we have to look at who is doing the damn verb. If the table is doing the verb, then that will become a qui. So la table qui est près de la porte. Because the table is doing the verb. If we then had the table which I bought you, which doesn't roll off my tongue as nicely as the table that I bought you, the table I bought you, but some people would go to say that, then I am doing the buying, so la table que je t'ai acheté, la table que je t'ai acheté. That would be a que. So qui is when the thing to the left is doing the verb, and que is when something new is going to be introduced after the que to do the verb. Now that can often be the same person if it's in a clause which is non-subjunctive. So for example, I think that I'm going to go to the gym after this. I think I bloody need to go to the gym after this. Je pense que je vais aller, au gymnase. But generally, after a que, in this kind of sentence, you are introducing a new person, whereas qui will go straight into the verb. Remember that for later, it will help you no end. So for example, the company which wrote to him was very, la société qui lui a écrit, yeah, okay, because the company, the company these feel wrong to say which, but I do catch people saying them. The company which he contacted, la société que il a contacté, la société qui l'a contacté. I know it then sounds like a key in the French, but that's because you've got Q-U apostrophe I-L. These examples will be underneath. The company that Susie contacted, la société que Susie a contacté. So that's another usage of qui and que. If you are referring in a relative pronoun way to which company, the company which did this, the company that did that. Okay? So that's a 3-style relative pronoun option then, for the use of which, qui, que, and dans. All right? Then we come, so far then we've had which when it's the only, which before a noun, which man, quel homme. Which when it's referring to the noun, lequel, laquelle. Which order did I do them in? Which order, quel ordre. Then we had which after a pronoun, so avec lequel, yada, 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 pour laquelle, etc. Then we've got which as a relative pronoun, which could be qui, que, or dans, as in the man which, there's the company which, contacted us. The company which contacted us, that's the feeling of which as opposed. So the company that contacted us, the company, comma, which contacted us, comma, was whatever. That'd be more likely a which. Qui, que, dans. All right? Next use of which. And that's, if I'm honest, that's the example where you will go to say laquelle. So if I said, so my friend Marcy, she's my brethren, she's my sister. She born in the same hospital as I was. That's marvellous grammatician, really doing well. But she'd say, if she's going slowly, one sentence one word at a time, so the table which was on offer, she'd say something like la table, laquelle, thinking of the table, and I'm like, no. So this is another argument. In fact, all grammar is an argument for saying your damn thought from the beginning all the way through to the end. Because individually, going word by word, your brain is going to go, oh yeah, the word which, qui, quel, laquelle. They all sound correct, but they don't all sound correct in the sentence, okay? So, next which. When you have which as a word versus as a concept. So one of my gorgeous little slogans is qui refers to the previous word, ce qui refers to the previous idea. I'll go again. Qui refers to the previous word, ce qui refers to the previous idea. So if you said, let's go with Marcy. So Marcy bought a table, which was excellent. We've got two ways of meaning that. We're saying Marcy bought a table and the table was excellent. Or Marcy bought, it's absolutely perfect. It's got a little lovely flat top surface. And it's got a little pull-out drawer for, you know, for all her green and her brown. And I'm joking, Marcy's the healthiest person you could wish to meet. So if you said Marcy bought a table which is excellent, meaning the table was excellent. Yeah, it was fit for purpose, it did what she wanted. Marcy bought a table which was excellent. Marcy a acheté une table qui était excellente. Yeah, okay. And the excellent there would obviously have to match gender-wise with the table. Yeah, Marcy a acheté une table qui est excellente. Okay, Marcy's bought a table and this table is amazing. Marcy bought a table, which is excellent because she bloody needed a table because I was sick of eating food, you know, off my lap when I went round Marcy's house. So, Marcy a acheté une table, ce qui est excellent. Ce qui will be which when it refers to an idea. Okay? So you could even introduce, so if somebody said, hey, did you hear that she's, so my friend Gabby, she's just spent 8 weeks in France. So somebody could say, did you hear Gabby has spent 8 weeks in France improving her French? And somebody else could go, which is excellent because, you know, she really, you know, you can obviously then go, ce qui est, that would be coming in with an idea, ce qui est rather than qui est, all right? So both of those in English would sound like you're saying which, but one refers to the previous idea, one refers to the previous word, okay? And again, if you go, which is excellent on your own, people go, oh, laquelle, lequel. No. Okay? Let me think. I did make some notes. Any other whiches that I'm missing? I suppose you've got the word witch as in a witch. I mean, I'm a dark warlock of 7 generations, but the fact is, the word for witch is sorcière. Okay, so say we went out and there were 2 shirts in a shop and I said to, who am I feeling generous about this week? Who's been lovely? My friend Robbie, he bought me some lovely candles and we had a good walk. So say we went out and it was Robbie's birthday and I said, do you know what, pick which shirt you want and I'll buy it you. Yeah, pick which shirt you want and I'll buy it you. Okay, that which would be choisis. No, if I said so pick, if it was pick which shirt you want, that would be choisis la chemise que tu veux. Pick the you know, the shirt that you want. If it was pick which one you want, that would be choisis celle que or celui que if it was a masculine thing, tu veux. So this is our friend celui, celle que, celui, celle, ce, etc., which is the indicating demonstrative pronoun. So I know a girl, which one? Je connais une fille, which one? Which girl? Quelle fille? Which one? Laquelle? The one who lives in France. Celle qui habite en France. Celui qui, you know, masculine. So this is where we're borrowing the demonstrative pronoun of this one, that one, those ones. So that can be used for a which. Pick which one you want and I'll go and get it. Alors, choisis celui que tu veux et moi je vais aller l'acheter. That is another one. Yeah. Which in a couple of phrases. So if you had all of which, all this, tout ceci, all this, you know. So if we went to word reference, which is really good for compound usages of words. So when you have a word you don't understand, the first bit's the main bit, but underneath it then has excellent compound usages, which will be referred to as les formes composées, where you've got which in a phrase expression, which might not be the most common, but it's really good to remind you to learn it. And in my case, it's really good to remind me to teach it. So for example, if you said, the example that they've got here is Greg, very virile. So Greg stole his sister's purse. Greg, how could you? It just matched Greg's dress. It matched Greg's dress beautifully. So Greg stole his sister's purse. A purse being in England like the thing you just keep your money in, as opposed to in America would be like the handbag kind of thing a bit more. But yeah, I hope for Greg's sake it was just where the money was kept, because I think Greg went with like he went with a little clutch purse because it matched his dress. So Greg stole his sister's purse and lied to his parents. Gregory, there's no point lying because no one's memory is that clever. Okay, maybe mine is. Not that I lie, but I have got a good memory. So Greg stole his sister's purse and lied to his parents about it, all of which goes to show that you can't trust him. Goodness me, Greg. Certain people here would still be programmed to like Greg because they like a bad boy. You know who you are. So Greg stole his sister's purse, all of which goes to show, that you can't trust him. So what have we got? Oui, Greg, il a volé le portefeuille de sa sœur et a menti à ses parents. He lied to his parents. Oh, gets worse and worse. Sur ce sujet, on the subject, ce qui montre bien, which shows well, because it's referring to the previous idea. Ce qui, like I said. Or we've got tout ceci or tout cela montre, all this, all that shows. Now, ceci and cela, you know the pyramid of the word that, ça here, ceci, cela. Then we've got they're the basic it, that concepts on their own, ça, ceci, cela. Then we've got ce garçon, cette femme, ses enfants, ses cousins, whatever, set with a word with a vowel. Then we've got the demonstratives on top, celui, celle, ce, celle with an S, etc. If you don't know what I'm referring to, don't learn it off this video. Just go and type the C word or ask underneath, and I'll pop the video underneath for the C word video. Yes, I called it the C word. Yes, I thought it was clever. And so ça meaning that is often turned into ceci and cela in slightly more formal occasions. So if you're writing, for example, that annoys me, ça m'énerve, would become cela m'énerve, particularly for those of you who are doing essays and things, okay? Lovely. So in other words, all that shows us, tout ceci or tout cela, all of which then shows us. Okay, any which way. Any old way, any which way. It doesn't matter how you get here. Just get here if you can. That's a beautiful song, which I would sing, but I can no longer sing thanks to a doctor who remains nameless until the situation is resolved. But thank you for all of those that have commented under the videos and said, "You're looking kind of ropey, Luke. Are you okay?" There is a reason. Bit of tendon damage. So if you said, somebody literally wrote underneath one of these videos, what's wrong with your eyes? I was like, delete comment. So in other words, all of which, tout ceci. If we use any which way, it doesn't matter, just get here, any which way, any old way, any which, then that is, it doesn't matter how, n'importe comment. N'importe comment. And if it's like any which, anyway, as in it doesn't matter how, any which way, n'importe comment, n'importe comment. It doesn't matter how. N'importe is a really lovely little, I sounded really weird then, that wasn't my voice. A really lovely little combo of words, which you will see a lot. N'importe qui, n'importe comment, n'importe quoi. Doesn't matter which, doesn't matter who. You know, whosoever, whatsoever. Good. Another really good video I recommend. He's good, this Luke chap. He does quite good videos. Another really good video I recommend is anybody, everybody, nobody, somebody, anything, everything, nothing, something, anyone, everyone, no one, someone. Those videos. So if you were to type any one of those words into the channel, the video would come up. Again, I'll post it underneath. So we've got every which way, for which reason, it's the reason why, c'est la raison pour quelle, that's all obvious. I think we're pretty much done for the most part. If I think of something else, if I think of something else that's specific, then I will just do an extension video. Speaking of which, that's quite a nice little one. I mean, you know that you're getting into phraseology now rather than sort of grammatical usage of the word which. So speaking of which, au fait, yeah, or d'ailleurs, notice ailleurs is elsewhere, d'ailleurs is like on that topic, but slightly removed. À ce propos, but that's a little bit formal. So in overview then, the main confusion that we have is which with a noun, quel homme, quelle femme, which when referring to a noun but not mentioning the noun, which one? Which ones? Lequel, laquelle, lesquels. The same lequel, laquelle, lesquels when we've then got a preposition to the left of it, with which. Yeah, with you know, from which, to which, you know, whatever. Which will be du quel, des quels, or auquel, à laquelle, avec lequel. It's only the to and the from ones which will join there. Okay? Which, when it's in a relative pronoun, which will either be qui, que, or dans, depending on whether you are from that word going into its verb, from that word going to, which would be qui, from that word going to somebody else's verb, which would be que, or somebody, or introducing a new subject, or whether you are then going into a verb which is being governed by de, or it's a de using verb, which you then use dans. I think that's pretty. We've then got ce qui versus qui when we talk about which being the pre. Don't you think I'm doing quite well to remember the order of this? Then you, because linguists listen, and then at the back of that, you've got this whole idea of which referring to the previous idea as opposed to the previous word. So he sent me a bunch of flowers, which, well, you can tell by the language. He sent me a bunch of flowers, which was lovely. He sent me a bunch of flowers, which were lovely. Often, so he sent me some flowers, which were lovely. He sent me some flowers, which was lovely. You can tell by the singularity plural there that he sent me some flowers, which were lovely, meaning the flowers were lovely. Il m'a envoyé des fleurs, quelques fleurs, qui étaient, with a they spelling, E acute T-A-I-E-N-T, you know, belle. Il m'a envoyé des fleurs, which was lovely. What a lovely gesture. Ce qui était, or ce qui a été, and then whatever word for lovely we went with there. You know, touchant, agréable. Yeah? Adorable. Good. Because we wouldn't use sympa, remember, because that's another video. My God, I'm going to have to pop so many videos underneath. I'm going to have to watch this again and write them all underneath. When we use the word lovely and we are not talking about a human being, yeah, okay, we have to be careful. Same as when we use the word nice and we're not talking about a human being. If we're talking about an action, we have to use something else. Good. I hope this is useful. I wanted to get this under for half an hour, but this is such a bloody good topic. I hope this has helped. Excellent. And to be honest with you, these videos, I know I've got my little crowd here, but often it will be for like when I teach somebody and I'll just go and watch this video. I'm not going to explain this to you again. You know who you are. Maggie. Loads of love to all of you. Do please subscribe. Do please click like. Remember that there is a Kofi account underneath. I do appreciate it because this is my time, which I am giving for free. And as you can see, this runs on caffeine. I will speak to you soon. I'm off to the gym. Which I've told you about. Okay, I'm off to the gym that I've told you about. Alors moi, je vais aller au gymnase dont je t'ai parlé. Which gym? Quel gymnase? I'm going to the gym, which is excellent. Alors moi, je vais aller à la salle de sport. Moi, je vais aller au gymnase. Ce qui est excellent. I'm going to the gym, which is excellent, as opposed to the shit one. Alors moi, je vais aller au gymnase qui est excellent. Which gym? The gym which is by the side of the road, you know, le gymnase qui est, whatever, à côté de la rue. Yeah, good, useful. Thank you very much.